What it do? Welcome into the Common Fan. I'm your host, Austin Dunstan, joined by Braxton Teal, Nathan Massey, and we have special guest, Trivia Matt, is in studio. Well, actually, we're not even in the studio today.
No, we're not.
But anyway, Matt, welcome, man.
Thank you. It's good to be behind a mic.
Yeah, man.
Is it, though? Because you look nervous over there.
Hey, you'll get used to it. It's okay. But as you guys can see, we are not in the bullpen today. We are at the Spring Hill High School locker room.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So Coach Lamm was excited to be on the show. We're going to have him on for next segment.
That's right.
And he let us use the locker room. It's air conditioned in here.
Yeah, this is probably the coolest episode we'll ever have.
Oh my
I had
gosh.
to capitalize and wear the sweatshirt.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was like, "This is the only time I'm going to get to wear this." But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start off the show. We're going to go with News Flash. Okay, we did it last week. We're going to do it again this week, and I'm going to go ahead and start. So I'm going to kind of go off of my third strike from last week, as the SEC has officially announced a 10-game conference-only schedule. And I personally now I understand where they're coming from. So our argument back, what was it, 4 episodes?
Months ago.
It was a while. It was, what does it just not spread in conference? Well, that's not really what they're going for, which looking back, like I can see why we thought that, and I still think that. But it makes sense because a 10-game schedule, and it's all SEC play. So they're all mandatory games, and that essentially gives you 4 weeks to work with because you have 2 byes and then 2 games less than you usually have. Okay. And so if it's in conference, that means it's going to be a lot easier to reschedule that game. And if it was out of conference, that means you're probably just going to have to boot it altogether.
Right.
So I totally get it. And 10 games, it's not 12. Arkansas is going to get run through. But, at least there's hope for college football.
It only happened 10 times this time.
Yeah, only 10 times as opposed to all 12. And we can't lose to a San Jose State, so that's huge.
Toledo.
Oh, shut up. Set myself up for that one. But that's all I've got for the conference play. But real quick, I'm wearing my Dallas Renegades shirt again, because this just in today, as of when we're recording,
right,
a group of people, including Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, have purchased the XFL for $15 million, and it is back, baby. And I am so unbelievably excited.
Bro, that's crazy that it was only $15 million, but it was
Absolutely.
only $15 million.
Yeah, I know. And I'm hoping they don't go in and change a bunch of stuff, because they had it right.
Yeah.
They had it perfect, and then COVID hit, and it was just bad timing.
Poor timing. Good plan, poor timing.
Yeah, a great plan. They had it much better than the first time they tried to do it, and then COVID hit. But I'm hoping Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, first of all, if you see this, come on the pod. Second of all, don't change anything. You guys had it right, and I'm going to go ahead and kick it to Braxton.
All right, so I'm going to take over NHL this week. And first and foremost, came out today that the NHL is still perfect.
Zero positive
tests. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. These men are out there skating around. They're not out at nightclubs or picking up wings from Magic City. They are taking this seriously, and they're doing good. So they have totally 7,013 tests given. All of them were negative.
That's crazy.
That is humongous.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's amazing. It shows that the idea of the bubble works.
Right. The bubble can work if you stick to the protocol.
Yeah, if you truly want to play and you follow the rules, you can play sports right now. You just have to want to. Yeah. And I think the NHL wants to, and it shows.
Yeah, I get it. So piggybacking off of that, the Preds played yesterday, their first game. They're going to play again before this episode comes out. Obviously, they did lose game 1. Praying for game 2. Pekka, for the first time in his career, did not start in a playoff game, and the torch has officially
there you go. You got
been handed to UC Saros.
I like the move, personally.
So I do and I don't. Obviously, there's like a legacy of Pekka, and there's a history behind it, experience, things of that sort, but it was coming. We all knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We saw it coming throughout the year. But the question truly is, where is Pekka a year from now?
Yeah, and see, my thing about it is, I think if you look back to when we made that run and you look at Pekka's play in the Stanley Cup final, it kind of started to show him losing. I mean, of course, the next year he won the Vezina. Don't get me wrong.
The next year.
Playoff-wise, Pekka just hasn't been it for us, and I like the switch to UC.
Because I remember the same playoff run. They're trying to make excuses for Pekka. Oh, they're wearing black jerseys. He can't see the puck and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that eventually, kept tumbling down. And
so what does he do? Does he transition into the backup role and stays as like a mentor and leadership in the locker room, or does he just eventually retire?
Well, I think I heard him say they see him as another coach, which
Okay.
he's been in the league forever.
Yeah.
And he's such a good person and a great goalie. He was a great goalie
Sure.
for the Predator for years.
Yeah.
And I think to just kind of cut him out and, do away with him would be stupid right now, especially when UC is so young that he needs to learn behind a guy like Pekka.
Yeah. I don't see the Preds cutting him, but then again, they just up and traded Shea Weber. So
Exactly.
it's kind of hard to say, but I'm going to kick it to my man.
All right, so we're going to get into MLB, and we've had enough MLB talk here with coronavirus, so I'm going to try to avoid that best we can with MLB news this week. But I'm going to get into it with Joe Kelly. What a legend after what he did this last week. So Joe Kelly, for those of you that didn't hear, threw at Alex Bregman on a 3-0. Obviously, the Dodgers are playing the Astros. Joe Kelly throws at Bregman on a 3-0 count and then misses with a curveball against Correa and then proceeds to strike him out. And as he's walking off the field, he turns around and mouths, "You have to cheat to hit," and some other things we're not allowed to say on the show. Yeah, so they got into it. So the only thing that really bothers me, I'm okay. Talk your crap if you're striking people out. Same thing for hitters. If you hit a home run, pimp it. I like the emotion in the game. It's good for the game. But the fact that the MLB suspended Joe Kelly for 8 games, okay, in a regular season, eight's okay, right? But if you 8 out of 60 games is comparable to 22 games out of a full season. Can you imagine an in-game incident where he didn't get ejected? Okay.
Yeah.
All he did was strike somebody out and make faces at him and say some bad words.
Yeah.
And you get suspended for that large of a chunk of your season.
Well, first off, Joe Kelly is an absolute psychopath.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
It's not out of character for him
And
to
I
yell.
love him because he's a psychopath. Number 2, during the offseason, he puts out a video of where he's trying to learn a changeup and misses a 12-foot wide net in his backyard and shatters a window.
Yep.
He hit Bregman with a curveball. It's not like he was throwing at his head, but he did throw at Correa's head, right?
Well, I think it was backwards.
Yeah, he threw it.
Backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, still, a curveball. Like, if you're going to hit somebody,
Whether
I
he
guess
meant
hit
to or not, I applaud him because somebody needed to.
Yeah. And speaking on Manfred and the MLB trying to expand the game or whatever, that's the stuff that makes baseball fun.
Yeah.
When you see a pitcher do that, when they start showing emotion, you shouldn't punish them for showing emotion in a game that we want to grow, and that's just hurting. Once again, just bad overall by the MLB, in my humble opinion.
and Twitter blew up on this. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, with Joe Kelly, I mean, this isn't his first incident
No.
as well,
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
did the same thing whenever he was with the Red Sox. Whenever they played the Yankees, he was throwing at people. They ended up having an all-out brawl on the field. And
He's a psychopath.
it's something that people also don't realize is, the Astros beat the Dodgers in the World Series, but the Astros had to go through the Red Sox to get to the World Series.
Yeah,
Sure.
true.
Yeah.
So there's bad blood there too.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
that is
obviously
100%
Twitter blew up about the whole suspension thing, and just quick comparisons on how big this suspension was. Again, his suspension is in a 60-game season, the other's in 162-game seasons. So when Carlos Quentin charged the mound and broke Zach Greinke's collarbone, 8-game suspension, 162 games. Amir Garrett single-handedly tried to fight the entire Pirates team, 8-game suspension. So
was a
these
good
guys are actually throwing hands and hurting people, and they get 8 games out of 162.
Yeah.
Joe Kelly has a little bit of command issues, kind of makes some faces at people. 8 games out of 60.
Manfred
Just
sucks.
terrible handling the situation. But go ahead, Matt. We'll kick it to
what
you
you
now.
got, bro?
So I'm going to talk a little NBA.
Ooh.
First off, the Pelicans are only 3.5 games back from a playoff spot.
Right.
Okay. And the Indiana Pacers have already clinched their playoff spot.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's weird to me.
This is going to be a little comparison right here.
Yeah, this is weird to me.
So Victor Oladipo, who plays for the Indiana Pacers,
Right.
said that before they went into the bubble, 29 days before they went into the bubble, he said that he wasn't going to play. He was opting out.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he went back on a statement and he played the other night, and he played 32 minutes, which is the most minutes that he's played since January 20th of 2019.
Okay.
Okay, so with them already clinching their playoff spot, the Pelicans are still fighting for theirs. And they have 6 games left. All 6 games, they're playing a team under 500, which is the Grizzlies, the Kings twice, the Wizards, the Spurs, and the Magic. So my question is, why are they not allowing Zion to play?
Yeah.
Interesting.
In the past 2 games, they played 2 games while they've been in the bubble.
Yeah.
Okay. Those 2 games combined, Zion has only played 29 minutes.
And Oladipo came off injury too. It wasn't like he was fully healthy.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
people like to say, well, Zion is out of shape and stuff like that. But Victor said months, like an entire month before, he wasn't even going to play.
Yeah.
But Zion knew that he was probably going to play, and he had a total of 5 months to get
Yeah.
himself ready to play.
Yeah. I think I've got 2 points in this. Okay. So, number one, Matt, you have a good radio voice.
You do,
do. I
man.
like
You're
it.
killing it over there.
It sounds
dude.
good over here.
Killing
so, number two, if Zion is your, if he is your poster child, then he has no excuse.
Yeah.
He should be out there, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be leading the team, not whatever ball plays for them or whatever.
Lonzo, yeah.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, no, those are my 2 points. Number one's more important than number two. What else you got?
And that's another thing. Lonzo Ball came out and said
Yeah.
to the media that they are a better team, obviously, whenever he's on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember the first game back, they lost by like 2 or 4 points.
Yeah.
And Zion sat out like the last 7 minutes of that game or whatever instead of putting him in. In my opinion, I would have the coach, instead of having a hard cap on his minutes,
Yeah.
I would have the coach communicate with Zion throughout the game and
Yeah.
ask him if he's still good to go, if he's
Yeah.
feeling good. That
Yeah.
way, you have him in there for the right amount of time instead of cutting his minutes short to where it depends on if they win or lose the game.
And I agree
Yeah.
with that point. Is this on Zion? Is this on the coaching staff? Is this on the Pelicans organization, the medical staff? Or is it just bad from top to bottom? So who is this on, and why is this not happening? Because there's very good points. This guy needs to be on the floor if he's your floor general, if he's your guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, guys, we are out of time for this segment. So, but before I go, I'm going to go ahead and plug this. Waltz Free Hand Sanitizing Lotion. If you haven't already, be sure to check out Waltz Free Hand Sanitizing Lotion at store.avcare.com. What it is, it's lotion for your hands that you can share with your friends. Kills COVID, okay? Keeps you nice and clean, so be sure to check it out. Use code TCF20 for 5% off your purchase. Support the brand. Support the boys. Waltz Free. All right, we'll be right back. The Common Fan is brought to you by Waltz Free Hand Sanitizing Lotion. It protects you up to 4 times longer than gel and won't crack or dry your hands. Try it out at store.avcare.com.
What it is, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Common Fan. We are joined by head baseball coach at Spring Hill High School, Coach Paul Lamm.
Yeah, did you just say his first name?
I was nervous to say it.
Look at him over there.
Okay.
I feel like we can say it in this moment. So Coach Lamm played at Columbia State, Northwest Shoals Community College before headed off to Austin Peay, where he played. He started his coaching career at Columbia State, then actually went to E.A. Cox, which
That's
is where
right.
I went to middle school
Cougars.
for 1 year before coming over to Spring Hill High School. He's going on his 14th year.
This will be year 16.
16. Okay,
16.
16, and he has won over 300 games in this time period. 7 state tournament trips, 4-time region champion, 5-time sectional champion, 6-time district and sectional coach of the year, 2016 TBCA and TSSAA coach of the year, 2016 state champion, 2010, 2012 state runner-up.
And that's it.
You can smile. Look at him. He's over there
You can
trying
be
not to
proud of it.
smile.
You can be proud of it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What an insane resume, though.
That is
that's
insane.
awesome. I mean, we all played for you, obviously, and we really appreciate you coming on for what is
for sure,
kind of
for sure.
just a
Hey,
little
I
rundown
can't tell you,
podcast.
I've been like a giddy little schoolgirl for the last 2 weeks looking forward to this.
Well, we've been talking about having you on for a while, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna see if he'll do it. And then you texted back, and you were excited. I was like, let's go. So,
Awesome.
but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and kick it off with the interview. Colton, I think you can go first.
I'll break the ice. Who is the favorite out of us three?
Oh, man.
It's got to
Wow.
be me.
You know what? You all had your own little nuances that
Nuances.
was cool.
Way to sidestep that one.
You really did. I mean, I'd say out of the three of you that Nathan by far took the most butt chewings. I mean,
for
Not
sure.
even
I thought you were about to say
That-
Nathan was the least favorite.
No,
I
really
thought
thought
you were
that's where I
about
was
to say
headed.
Nathan was
No.
the favorite, and I was
No.
going to be
No,
like,
no,
"Are you
no.
okay?"
No shot.
if anything sets you all above, that would take him
Down a
to the
little
next
bit.
level.
Yeah.
Is,
Yeah.
is wearing it. That's one thing I could say about Nate. He could wear one like no other and just say yes, sir,
Aw.
at the end of it.
That's so
It's
sweet.
impressive.
It is true. I was chewing him out before you came in here, and he's just smiling at me. I was like, "What are you?"
Stop it.
The
What are you
training,
doing?
the training over the years of
Exactly.
being able to handle it.
Get him ready.
But anyway, okay. So this is kind of a basic question, but when did you decide that you wanted to be a coach?
Being a coach's kid growing up, both my father, who just retired at Loretta High School last year, and then my mom, which a lot of people don't really know, at least in this part of the world. She was a head girls basketball coach at Rogers High School, right down the road from our home in Loretta, up until '94, until I got into high school. And she made the decision to not get out of teaching, but to get out of coaching, so she would be able to follow, my father and I and my brothers in their career as well. But, Mom in her own right was a heck of an athlete down at University of North Alabama, and up until a couple years ago, she still held a basketball record there for the girls program, most fouls in a season.
That sounds right. I can see that probably.
Typical Lamm fashion before she became a Lamm. But no, like right around 6th, 7th grade, there starts to become a point where I guess you're good at something from an athletic standpoint. And that was about the time that I think my love for baseball really went from just playing in Little League to this is something I want to do and work hard at. And at that point, I knew whenever my career was over, I was going to follow in the footsteps of my parents. So I'm fortunate in that aspect that I knew really early what I was going to do. And it made school a whole lot easier, planning, because like Nate said, pitching coach at Columbia State for 2 years, I was 22. I mean, I was literally like 3 years older than the dudes that, I was having bullpen sessions with.
Exactly,
So, it was cool to start out that young, but, very young age. So if I had to put a date, 6th, 7th grade.
Wow. Okay.
So, like you just mentioned, you started very young, like way before most coaches start. And so you've obviously progressed through the years, not only as a coach, but also like in just life in general, with starting a family and everything like that. So how does that, though, like your family and your children, and like now you're even coaching your kids now.
Yeah.
So how does that factor into everything that like your coaching lifestyle?
And, he's not up here right now with us, but Braxton will tell you, I'm a completely different coach than I was when I first started here. I took over when I was 26, which is a pretty young age for a head coaching position. And, I mean, how I made it through those first few years without having a stroke or heart attack, I don't know, because it was so – it consumed me. We were fortunate to be able to have success pretty early on. 4th year we go to state tournament and state championship game, and at that point, I think pre-family, it's all about winning. That's all it's about. It's about nothing but winning. But it seems like when the family aspect comes into play, it's not that winning takes a back seat. It's that you start to really work on developing kids as human beings instead of just ABC ball player. And I fully think that has made me a better coach. That youngest little dude, Lake, I mean, that kid loves my youngest son. He's 6. Be 7 at the end of October. But, I mean, he loves it. I mean, he loves coming out here, and I feel so fortunate for him and the other ones as well to be able to grow up in this environment. I mean, y'all remember Carson when you guys played.
Yeah.
Carson's now going to be an incoming freshman.
Which is wild.
That is crazy.
That is so weird to think about.
It's crazy for me too, but I loved growing up at my father's field and his program, and I can't wait for them to be able to do the same thing. So, it's cool. Landon's going to be 10, and, it's just going to be really cool. So I think it's made me a more passionate coach in a different arena, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's wild. Because I've always heard that before you had kids, you were like, Coach Lamm, but like on roids, right? And I've never heard you say that. That's so wild that you think the same thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I look back and every coach, especially when you start out as young as I did, just like anybody in the business world, you're going to do things different. It's crazy for me that I've been in this for almost 20 years now, but yeah, there's things that I would change. There's still things we do the exact same.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't evolve, your players are going to, and you're going to lose them.
Absolutely.
So Nate is going to kill me for this. I don't even know if you've heard this, but going into this year, I knew we needed a little something extra. And the flow has really made a comeback in the baseball world. So our first meeting back from January, because, we always have the first, and I say you will have a clean-shaven face and a haircut by Friday, or you will not be out here. And you should have seen their little adorable faces light up when I said, as long as the flow doesn't get stupid, you can keep it. And, I mean, you would have thought that because we had about probably, because it's popular now. You probably had about 11 or 12 dudes that were like, is this a trick?
Yeah.
Like, is he joking right now?
For sure.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, Nate.
It's okay.
Wow.
Because Nate can get some good flow going. I mean,
Wow,
he had
look
a
at him
beard
over
when he
there.
was a sophomore, but
Yeah, I dreaded that conversation every year because I knew it was coming, and I was one of the few ones at the time that had it. There's only a few of us back then, but
it was like you with the hair and me with the beard, and then like we
Yeah.
were both like sad all the time.
and nobody ever questioned it. Everybody just did it. So
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
for sure,
yeah.
for sure.
when when I let it out this year, everybody was like, wow.
finally.
Yeah.
So
That is wild.
Yeah.
Colin, why'd you go ahead?
Okay, so Mike Vrabel once said that he would cut off his
Manhood.
for a Super Bowl. Would you cut off any part of your body
Anything.
for another state championship ring?
not going to go to that at all. But I will say I remember after one of our early state tournament runs calling Mr. Callahan back. He had called me, left a message congratulating me on the year, which quite honestly, after you lose a big game in a big setting like that, like that's what everybody wants to say, but you don't want to hear it that first day or that first week or that first month. You don't want to hear it. But I remember calling him back and just telling him that, I'm almost physically exhausted with trying to figure out how to win a state title because, we win in 10, then back in 11, we're back in the big dance in 12, but we're cashed. We had no business being there, that at that point, just because losing game one and then fighting our way out of the – so as a coach, you never know if you're going to get back. You really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it took my dad, close to 33 years before he went to his first one. And some coaches never do. And then there's hundreds upon thousands out there that don't ever win it. And if you make that your only goal, you're not going to be very happy because the chances of it happening are slim to none. I mean, so many things have to happen. So honestly, in 2016, because, you two, or all of you were on the 15 team. No.
We were all on
Yeah,
15.
everybody was on the 15.
Yeah, when we went 0-2.
Quite honestly, we should have won it in 15. If we get out of the district, in my opinion, we've got a heck of a chance of winning it all in 15. So
yeah, for sure.
16, I literally said, the year that we won it, I literally said, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to do the best job I can. They're going to do the best job that they can. If I prepare them and they prepare, you got to show. And ever since then, I mean, that's the way that I've approached it because if you just live and die by the wins and losses, it's not like Coach Vrabel where millions upon millions upon millions of dollars are on the line.
Yeah.
Whether we win a state title or I go 0-33, I make the same. So it's not like, it's not the same. But I know coaches out there
Yeah.
that would lose body parts.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what you're saying is you'd cut off a less important limb, like your pinky or something
yeah,
like that.
I could
yeah.
stand to lose, a middle toe or something.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Anyway, well, that's a great place for us to go into our next break. We'll be right back again with Coach Lamm right after this. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I was just channeling my inner Bob Ross. Well, I've got your attention. You should go ahead and follow The Common Fan on Twitter, @TheCommonFan. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram, @TheCommonFanOfficial, as well as YouTube, The Common Fan Official. All podcast platforms are just The Common Fan. We'll be right back. Welcome back into The Common Fan. We are going to do a segment right now on superstition because all of us love baseball, and it's for some reason known as like a very superstitious sport. I mean, it kind of has to be because if you fail 7 times out of 10, you're a good player, which is wild. But anyway, what made me think of this actually is because I still do like things for superstition every day.
Yeah.
Like so the Predators played yesterday, and before they dropped the puck, I sped to the nearest gas station and picked up 5 gum because I chewed it when they went on that really long Stanley Cup run. And I was just like, and I was sitting there thinking, I was like, man, I cannot believe I still do stupid stuff like this. So I was wondering, do y'all have random superstitions?
For sure.
So especially you, actually you too. So
Yeah.
what's one of yours?
Okay, so I went on like a 2-year span of every single baseball game I played. I wear the same underwear, the same socks, and the same sleeves underneath my outfit. Like it was ridiculous because I had to have it washed every night. If I didn't, I was just screwed. But I was gonna wear it either way.
Oh yeah, I guess that's
Yeah, it wasn't a good thing. It wasn't a good thing.
It's not ideal.
I wouldn't
mean,
support that.
Like when we went on the state championship run, I had to wear long sleeves.
Yeah.
The entire, even when it was so hot in that state championship
Pulled
game,
up.
I had those long sleeves pulled up, and it was miserable. But we won it, so I guess it worked, right?
Yeah, you don't question it.
No, you don't question. It's only weird if it doesn't work, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I can kind of piggyback on those. Like, I do the same thing, and I always wear leggings, like, under my baseball pants. And I usually wear them during practice and stuff because, like, with catching, I don't want to rip all my leg hair out with all the gear. And then I started wearing them during games, and I have 2 pairs. I have a white pair and a black pair. And, like, if I'm playing well with the white pair on, then, like, I ride the white pair until, like, I wash them, obviously, but I ride them until I have a bad game, and then switch over to the black pair, and then I wear the black ones until I have a bad game. And so it's just a constant rotation of the two.
Oh yeah.
But I have to have them on though.
Yeah, but Coach, I know you have to have some weird ones.
I have
Coaching
a
as long as you
ton.
have.
It honestly depends on the situation, and it totally hilarious that y'all are talking about this right now. So I'm one of those people. If I see money on heads, I pick it up.
Right. Okay.
Don't question it. Like I consider it bad luck if I walk by and I see a penny on heads if I don't pick it up.
Really?
But everything we've got going on in the world right now has made me question that.
Yes.
Literally coming down here a while ago from school, saw a penny with its head up.
Yeah.
And went down. It was kind of dirty looking, and I left it.
Whoa.
No.
Yeah. But I also,
no.
I thought to myself, I was like, no. This is okay. I saw it. I made the effort, but I did the right thing from a
Health standpoint.
COVID
So you left it.
Yeah. So I was perfectly at peace with doing that.
Wow.
So what I hear is there's free money up there.
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta get
We're
It's
going
a-
back up there and we're
it's
making you
a-
pick it up.
It's a penny. But from a baseball standpoint, I used to always try to find, and I'm one of those people, I can find a 4-leaf clover daily
Yep.
if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird gift, but if I am in a pasture full of clovers, I can pick out a 4-leaf clover like 20 feet away. I don't know how I do it.
Couldn't do
Because
it.
I know, like, I've got friends that have never found one.
I've never found. I was literally thinking
Yeah.
that I've never
The
found
only one
Yeah.
I've ever had is one that you handed me.
Yeah,
after
I
you
mean,
found it.
there have been days where I've found like multiple ones and just started handing them to starters. Like here,
Literally,
put this in
yeah.
your hat. Here, I think Gage ate one before
Gage
a game.
ate one, yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, it's one of those weird, stupid human tricks, and I mean, you know, that's one of my things.
Yeah.
You know, we've all got the stuff that you wear the certain way. I'm a sleeve guy too,
Yeah.
you know, unless it's stupid. I don't remember. Can't remember if I had one on state champion.
You had
I
to.
Probably
Had
did.
to have.
We didn't question much during
No.
that year, but
No.
you know, going into that next season when we had one of the longest winning streaks in the country
46.
going on. Yeah, 46.
46.
It was
46.
incredible.
Slight flex.
You know, you almost start trying to remember what you did the
Oh,
day
yeah.
before.
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
Yep.
what did I have?
Exactly.
Did I have a waffle? You know, you try to think about all the things that you did the day prior. And yeah, like you said, it's stupid, but baseball probably has more superstitions than any just
Absolutely.
because
For sure.
you need so much luck.
Yeah.
You have to have it, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
But
You were talking about like the win streak and the state championship because all that was in like one time. And I remember because we were all on that team, everything that we did like stockpiled. Like it started off with like a couple of things that we would do every game.
Yeah.
And then we just started slowly adding things on every game. And at the end of it, I remember we probably had like 10 or 11 things that certain
yeah.
people had to do before games
And
or else it wasn't right.
the crazy part about it, I don't want to expose our superstitions, but we used to do something before the game in center field with an item. Do you know what I'm talking about? And the item is literally back there.
Yeah.
So we've literally shrined that
item.
because we were so superstitious. But what I was getting into is like, it's affected me as a person. So like, even though I don't play ball anymore, I still do things every single day that I consider superstitious. Like, okay, this is the weirdest one by far. So after I take a shower, okay, this is weird. I let the water, so you know how like you turn off the water and it comes out the faucet at the bottom? I let it run on my left heel until it stops every single time. And I don't know why.
That is
Are you
so
okay?
Is that
oddly
not
specific.
weird?
Are you
Like-
okay? What?
all right.
That is so oddly
Dude,
specific.
I'm telling you, dude, but that's just like one.
How did that start?
I don't know. I just remembered,
That's
and now I
just-
do it every single time.
That's so weird.
But hey, I'm not dead yet, so it has to be working somehow.
Yeah.
You know what
Okay.
I mean? I attribute my existence to that.
I mean, I still do weird stuff like on game days, but like nothing that specific. Mine's more
Really?
like what I eat. Like I have a 4 eggs scrambled on a blueberry muffin with cheese or blueberry bagel with cheese before every game now.
Okay.
That's like that's
you
my
ask?
specific, but like
Wait, when?
but like that's not as weird as like letting water run on your heel. In
I
the
told you
shower.
it was weird,
It's
dude.
just a habit at this
I
point.
don't know. Teal, what are your notes on over there?
I mean, they're kind of about everything because sports has just so much superstition in general. Like I was looking it up earlier and I found a New Zealand rugby team that does the haka chant. If you've never seen the haka chant, it's very interesting. They beat on their body, stuff like
that
that.
like the-
very
Yeah.
tribal, very
Oh,
scary.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I looked up the lyrics of that chant because they perform it before every game, and it says,
Is that the All Blacks?
yes, the All Blacks. It is death, it is life. This is the hairy man who brought us the sun and caused it to shine. And that's the only lyrics they say.
I don't know.
I would never guess that.
So, wow. That's what they say before the game to get them pumped up. Also, how in the world did we start throwing catfish and octopus on ice? Like,
that is true. Yeah, that is weird.
like who started that? Like,
I don't know.
The Red Wings started it, right?
with the octopus.
Yeah, I don't remember the story, but that was, you know, when you're a Southern hockey team, you have to have something to set
Yeah.
you
Right.
apart.
But, yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
they just started doing it to kind
Screw
of
it. A catfish.
Dude,
It worked.
Yeah, you know how people get them in there? They'll strap them to their bodies in
Yeah.
like saran wrap or tape and just walk on through.
Just imagine
That's
like,
That's disgusting.
imagine
personally.
45 minutes with a catfish. strapped to your
Exactly.
chest.
Like it's okay. It's like a catfish. I get it, but like that's a long time to have a dead catfish
Yeah, for
on
sure.
your body. You know what
Unless
I mean?
he's alive.
He definitely isn't by the time he hits the ice.
Probably not. by the time you're there.
He's in a tank.
Anyway,
Okay, yeah. Keep going.
stop. Anyway, are there like more famous ones that we haven't discussed?
I've got a few. So Les Miles eating the grass at
Yeah.
every field.
That's a true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
There's
one's
that one.
wild.
One of the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan, wear his Carolina shorts under his Chicago Bulls shorts every game.
Really?
Yeah.
So like he had to have longer shorts made than everybody else. That way his would fit under.
Really?
He wasn't
I
about
didn't
the
know
5-inch
that.
inseams.
Yeah.
He wasn't about it.
And then the LeBron James doing the powder toss, everybody, that was huge for
Yeah,
years.
That's a big one.
And then one that I found was kind of weird was Jason Terry. So apparently it started off, he wore his game shorts before every game, like in college. He would wear them to bed.
Right.
Like he would sleep in them. And then once he got to the NBA, I guess he wanted to switch things up, but still wanted to have like the idea of it. So now he wears the opposing team's shorts to bed. So I guess he has like a pair of shorts from every team in the NBA, and whoever they play the next day, he wears the other pair to bed that night.
Huh.
Interesting.
I don't understand the principle. Like I guess like wearing your game shorts is weird, but like okay, but wearing like the other team, like I
Even
wonder what
weirder.
his thought behind it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which gets him in a good place mentally.
I guess so.
I guess that's
Yeah.
what it's all about, really. Is like routines, you know.
Yeah,
Feel good,
yeah.
play
And
good.
We're almost out of time, but Coach, real quick, do you want to? Because I know you always had us have a routine at bat. Do you still do that?
Oh yeah,
So-
absolutely.
So what's the meaning behind that? Like why?
It calms you down.
Yeah,
Biggest thing.
absolutely.
We've talked about this. I mean, you do the same thing pretty much every single day of your life. You wake up, you go to the restroom at the same time. Usually, you eat breakfast. Yeah, y'all remember this speech?
I forgot about that.
I still tell it every year.
Yeah.
But if you have continuity in your life and you have routine, it makes life a whole lot easier. I think when COVID hit and all of a sudden we're in our routines and then everybody in the world's routine changed
Yeah.
at the same time, that's when things were nuts and people realized how important their routines were to them.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody stood back and went, wow, how did I get this much crap done in one day?
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
and then now you've got even more time
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
So to me, that was one of the craziest things that happened back in early March.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree. I mean, like, I know you hammered that into our heads, routine. And so, you know, I haven't played ball in 3 years. And we came out here and we were hitting off Colton. I found myself still going through my long routine before everybody. I was like, how? Like, you literally
Yeah.
brainwashed us that into our heads.
Yeah.
Like, and I still haven't forgot to this day.
Yeah.
Which is wild. But anyway, I think we're out of time. So we're out of time. Coach Lamm, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to follow Spring Hill Baseball on Twitter.
Yep.
Follow Coach Lamm on Twitter. You got a Twitter yourself too.
That's right.
Well, anyway, that's pretty much all we have. Good luck this season. Good
Thank
luck
you, guys.
with everything going on. Absolutely. Anytime. We'll be right back after this break.
What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back into the Common Fan. And this week, we are lucky enough to be both sponsored and catered by the
Yes.
Bypass Deli.
The GOAT
The
Bypass
GOAT,
Deli,
man.
baby.
I'm super excited. So we actually have some food that we're going to bring on set. This is our
Yes.
good friend, Brett Bell.
Brett.
So the Bypass Deli, if you don't know, they're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. These people have been voted 15-time best burger and Reuben in Murray County. Okay, this meat is fresh, never
out right
frozen.
here.
It's patted out every single day. I promise you, go support these people. They are great people. It's a great opportunity to support local business. It's great meat. It's very fresh, and it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. They've been around since 1966. Any business that's been open that long, they're obviously doing something right.
Absolutely.
So we're excited to have it. We appreciate Bell coming.
Bell, say
Bring
hi to
us
your
some
mom.
food.
Say something, Mom.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, good job, man.
So
Thank
yeah,
you.
we're excited, and thanks again, man.
Oh, I'm
Thank
excited.
you.
Yes, thank y'all so much, Bypass Deli. We love you.
All right, so for the next 15 minutes, you're going to sit here and watch us eat.
And hear us eat, baby.
ASMR style.
Absolutely.
That's right. Oh, these fries are actually really good.
I'm telling you.
All right,
Burger smack.
So as I finish this fry, all right. So this week we're bringing back. I guess we could call it show and tell because it's sports, but it's also kind of a little conspiracy. So you know how I dive into them, boy.
Yeah, let's just let it be known that none of us really know what Braxton's about to say.
No.
So this is like Michael Scott and Holly doing their thing. David Walsh is like, I have not seen this. That's us right now. We have not seen this.
So, so what I want to speak on this week, obviously we're all baseball guys here, and we are in a baseball locker room. So if we were doing show and tell, what better to do than a baseball conspiracy? And one popped up yesterday. So obviously Cespedes just pieced out. Just out. Like,
Right,
so
apparently.
the Mets show up to the Mets show up to play the Braves, and nobody's heard from Cespedes. He doesn't show up to the ballpark. Game starts at 1. At game time, there was no call, no text, no contact. The Mets send security to his room and find that there's nothing in the room. Like, it's been completely gutted, no clothes, no possessions, nothing, and they can't get in touch with him. Okay?
Interesting.
So they reach out to him, never hear back. And finally, about halfway through the game, they get him to answer, and he says that he's okay, nothing's wrong, but he just randomly chose to opt out for the rest of the season because of COVID.
Wait, so
Old strategy.
So he waited till like after the game, or what happened? When was this timeline? I'm confused.
So yesterday, he doesn't show up for the game.
Yeah.
Okay. They try to get in touch with him.
Yeah.
Can't get in touch with him. And then about halfway through the game, they finally get him to answer a phone call, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm done. See ya. Sorry.
Are you serious?
I took my stuff. I'm out."
That's so
What
wild.
if he was in the lineup for that day?
Oh,
Yeah.
he was.
Oh, he
Oh, he
was.
was?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's the everyday starter for him now.
Yeah, that is
So,
a
I
little.
mean-
I'm assuming you're going somewhere wild with this, but like that in itself is pretty crazy.
I mean, it's crazy that he just completely pieced out. You know, there was no point in. He had never had the intention of being there. He had his bags packed, and he was out of Atlanta, completely gone.
Wow.
Right.
He shouldn't be in Atlanta. He should be in a bubble. Rob Manfred's an idiot, but that's a different conversation. But the story goes deeper. So the Mets fans actually believe, okay, this gets bold. The Mets fans believed he might actually be dead, not just missing.
Wait, like currently, or
Wow.
are they sure
Yeah.
he's alive?
Well, at the time, they completely thought that he could be dead, which is completely far-fetched, but at the same time, it's really not.
It's the Mets.
It's the Mets. The Mets have stupid things happen to them all the time. They've had, a history of players not showing up. When Matt Harvey, you remember him, the Dark Knight, he just randomly didn't show up to that game like a couple years ago. What happened to that guy, by the way?
That's what I was about to say.
He was
I mean,
terrible after like those. That he had like a special couple years and then just fell
He was
off.
so good, and then he just didn't show up. Okay, so he might be dead. So there's a whole long conspiracy behind this, right? So Cespedes is from Cuba. Okay, so Cuba obviously is a dictatorship country. It's really hard. I just screwed up the word country.
Yeah, Compacheri.
It's really hard to get out of that country accordingly, okay?
Yeah.
So what happens, and this is from as much knowledge as I could find, is the Cuban cartel actively smuggles people out of Cuba so they have opportunities in other countries, okay?
Right.
So supposedly, I could be pronouncing this wrong, but the Zetas drug cartel.
I have no idea.
What happens is they'll board people up on a boat, and they ship them off, and they eventually get to this hidden port that's like right outside of Cancun, Mexico. Okay? So they take these people off a boat, and then they basically put them in like prison. So like these prison-like conditions that are in Cancun that are run by this cartel. Okay.
Right.
And keep in mind, all of this is believed that Cespedes went through this. Okay. So obviously he's a big name now, but when he was a kid, when it was a prospect, they believe this is the steps that he had to take to be able to play in the MLB and come to the U.S.
Dude, that is so wild, though.
That is wild.
So they hold him in these prison-like conditions, and they have two sports agents that are openly known and work for this drug cartel. Basically, they hold him in this prison and say, you're going to sign with our agents or you're going to live out here and we're going to torture you for the rest of your life. So
What?
Yeah. So
This just sounds terrible.
This
Right?
sounds so awful.
so they hold him there. Okay.
Sounds like a really great movie, though.
it is a
Oh,
good
yeah.
movie.
Sounds like
Wouldn't
a
it be
great-
a great movie?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Sounds like a great movie. Hopefully this isn't true, but if it is,
It might be.
I'm sorry, but if it's not, make it into a movie.
So they hold him in this prison. They eventually sign with these agents because what else are you going to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then they say, now that you're signed with our agents, we're going to negotiate your MLB contract. So now these agents that work for the drug cartel are negotiating their own contract to be paid more than they should be. So now these prospects, once they get that MLB bonus and eventually paid that weekly check, a good chunk is now going back to the cartel that smuggled them out of the country.
Wow.
Makes sense?
You know, it kind
I
of
mean,
makes sense.
it does make sense, but a lot of these conspiracy theories just make so much sense to me. You know what I mean?
Because they're true.
See, like, I don't know.
If that was true, then how many other players are there?
Okay, so that's another thing I saw. Going back to like
was perfect. Great
2000,
question.
like early 2000s, there's been like 3 or 4 that have openly testified in court, and Cespedes was one that got subpoenaed to testify in court but never showed up for it.
Oh, bad move on his
Okay.
part.
Wow.
So let's go a little bit deeper. I'm an onion when I do these stories, right? I just peel layers over and over.
It gets
and over.
ridiculous.
Okay, so apparently there's a $10,000 smuggling fee for basically to start the process to exit Cuba and get into for them to take you into the U.S. to play baseball.
Right.
So apparently he had some trouble paying that when he first got in the league. And then let's go to fast forward to May 2020 of this year when he mysteriously fractures his ankle. Okay, have you heard of this?
No.
No? Okay. So apparently he was on his ranch, which is in Port St. Lucia, which is beautiful, by the way, if you've never been there.
I have not. Thank you.
Sounds good.
So a story comes out that he fractures his ankle by stepping in a hole after being chased by a wild boar on his property in Port St. Lucia.
A wild boar?
Boar.
Interesting.
What are the odds?
I almost
Right?
choked on my delicious fry, by
Like
the
he
way.
might be fast, but I don't think he's fast enough to run away from it.
Of
in
a
the first
boar?
place.
A wild boar. So fun
boar.
fact,
I can't get
Autumn
over
and I, on our honeymoon, we went to, we were in Mexico, I believe in Cozumel or right? Something like that. I don't know. We went to the Mayan ruins that's off this port because we went on a cruise, and we're walking down this dirt path, and a wild boar is like 20 feet away from us, just staring us down. Yeah. I was scared for my life. And then this Chinese family came walking towards us, and it distracted the boar. So they may be dead now, but we got away. Okay, back to the story. So his story was that he was being chased by a wild boar, and he stepped in a hole, and then he fractured his ankle. Okay.
Right.
But the interesting side of that was within a week of him mysteriously breaking his ankle, his contract was restructured. So he went from making $29 million in 1 year down to $10 million in that next year.
Wait. So I'm assuming what you're hinting at is
Yep.
like the cartel was like, yo, you beat up. Screw your ankle, bro. And was like, we're going to redo your contract. Is that what you're hinting at?
I'm hinting at the fact that because he wasn't performing to the ability that he should be, the cartel was mad that the Mets are wanting to restructure his contract and then physically beat him for it.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, I can see that. I was about to say, though, I don't understand why they would beat him up and then make him get less money.
Yeah,
But I get it now. So you're saying that he was doing so bad that they just beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And he got his contract lowered to, what'd you say, $10 million?
Yeah, I mean it dropped $20 million
That
in
is
a single
true,
year.
I mean, yeah.
So if you build the structure of that story, if they actually are getting a large chunk of what his salary is, and then his salary drops $20 million in 1 year, I'd be pretty pissed off too.
Yeah, they're not happy people when that happens.
Right. So, and then the funny fact of this is he just mysteriously disappears. Well, his contract was up at the end of this year.
Yeah.
So it's odd that if they're wanting their money, he wouldn't just quit.
Yeah.
I think personally he I don't know.
You think
I
he
really don't know.
ran and he's in hiding?
No, I don't, because I was reading through all these news articles and really hoping that something dramatic would happen. And then 2 minutes before I pulled in to shoot this episode, a news article came out that yesterday he skipped the game and he was at a local mall.
Oh, yeah. I saw the picture. He
Local
posed
mall.
and took a picture with
Yeah,
a couple fans.
so my conspiracy just went out the window.
Yeah,
but
so-
we talked about it anyway. I don't know, but I mean, obviously, there's some weird mysteries in the fact that the cartel has helped him throughout his career, but in my opinion, they've also punished him. There's a lot of different names out there that have been very open in court that the cartel has, either physically beat them or, took them away. So I think there's something to that story. I don't know what it is.
That's completely wild.
It makes sense. It could go so much deeper too.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
the
Oh,
MLB
yeah.
is tied in there somewhere, the
So,
actual
yeah.
organization. And
I mean, ultimately,
wondering.
it would be a great movie, though.
It would be an insane movie. But, guys, we are out of time for this show, but we still have Third Strike.
Oh, God.
I did not prepare for Third Strike, but we're going to give it a go. Matt, do you have a Third Strike?
yeah, I'll go. My third strike is to the NCAA. I
Okay.
wish they would actually man up and put some rules and regulations over the entire NCAA instead of telling the bigger schools they can do whatever and then leaving the smaller schools to do basically nothing if
Yeah.
they don't have the money to
do it.
pay for it
Absolutely.
with the football games that are getting canceled. So
Yeah,
Matt came prepared.
100%. Yeah,
I'm
you
proud
did.
of
Look
Matt.
at him over there.
I'm proud
You
of
killed it
Matt.
today. Thank you, Matt.
boy.
You killed it.
Thanks for having
Massey,
me.
what you got?
All right, so my third strike is going to be, as a Cardinals fan, I wore the jersey last week. Go Cards. Very disappointed in the Cardinals organization and them being one of the big COVID epicenters in the MLB right now. I believe it's pretty much them and the Marlins have been the two big ones out there. They got a whole bunch of tests and come on, Cardinals. This is you're not that organization. You're not the Marlins. Like, you may not be the greatest team every single year, but you're one of the greatest franchises in the MLB, one of the staples of the MLB. Have more pride in yourself than to go out and party. Like, just play the season and be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. Brax, what you
All
got?
right, I got 2. First and foremost, Cespedes didn't run because he was scared. He was tired of getting beaten by the Braves. Number 2, bypass Deli's GOAT.
That's big facts. That was also mine. Go check out the Bypass Deli. This burger is absolutely slapping. I had to slow myself down so I didn't finish it all on camera. But anyway, that's all we've got for this week. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.